This is the second instalment of Ottomans versus English. This player potentially was better, I'd suggest. So hopefully it's a little bit more useful. Because the initial player, they were okay, but they didn't push early enough. Obviously with English you need to push early, otherwise you lose the kind of innate advantage you have with that civilization. 2 on gold as usual, and then 1 on wood and everyone else on food. Pretty standard. And then you get feudal, and you put as many as you can afford but not lose the villager production. I've managed to get 9 on this time, which is a bit much. I decided now to go wood. And then obviously stone, so the priority is to try and as soon as possible get the military schools up. I didn't notice the standard of the other player this game either, so I wasn't 100% sure, you know, who I'd be playing against in terms of their ability. Oh, that was just a scout getting into trouble, I think. Oh no, it wasn't. Yeah, so they're already pushing a little bit with 3 longbows taking on some of the villagers on that stone. And now they're, for some reason, using longbows against the mining camp, which is going to take them a while. But they are doing the classic English early push at 7 minutes, which is quite hard to defend against. If it's like after 11 minutes, which is kind of what the other one did, it's a lot easier, whereas if it's 7 minutes, that's a bit harder, to be honest. I'll normally put barracks up before getting to the next stage, and perhaps I have 1 or 2 too many people on wood. Maybe I should have concentrated a little bit more on food. I've got a decent number of sheep, not quite as many as perhaps in a previous game, but I think I had 30 before. 18 is fine. So they're putting up outposts. Again, this is a standard, very annoying English thing to do. It's very important not to just try and push and be in kind of complete defensive mode. Don't overthink it. A little bit slow with that, but not too slow, so I did manage, I think, to not lose any villagers. It'd be nice if I took a longbowman out, obviously, but it doesn't necessarily matter. I am getting pushed off gold though. At this point you need to be a little bit wary about the gold, so I decide to go on it again, but in the not too distant future it might be a case. I'm slow here because I'm doing the annoying. Did I lose 3 there? I think I lose +3. Might be a case that, as I do in a minute, I think, you're looking to where the enemy isn't, hopefully, at least, hopefully isn't, to get those resources, especially gold. So, Sipahi, slightly more useful, I'd suggest, than hardened spearmen, but you know, council hall, obviously. So the fact we're not on gold is obviously problematic. So we do need to be basically risking it to an extent on a gold mine that you think you're going to be okay on. the enemy actually scouts this area, I think intentionally kind of thinking that I might be doing this. But they don't close off that gold mine quickly enough. Probably what they should have done is just chucked a couple of longbowmen down here at the same time as building up a force here, and then it would be very difficult. One thing I do here is I'm using the scout to like crisscross this area. Yeah, and then I very intentionally don't bring the villager to the gold mine because it's, you know, there's a scout there. If I can avoid them seeing what I'm doing, you know, I do need to try. So the obvious thing to do there is to reroute and move villagers around the other side to get gold, and the kind of key is I need to get enough gold such that I can create a force that can, with the potential to push back against what they're doing. At the moment I don't have that force. That force is not going to push this, it's not going to do it. So you need to be kind of aware of your vulnerabilities, I guess. I'm doing the blacksmith around the military schools again because that's been working really well. It's a new thing that I didn't actually know about. I didn't know that the military schools increase their production speed with a blacksmith. I thought it was only barracks and archery ranges and stables. But that's just... yeah, so definitely do use that. So I'm scouting this area to check if they are doing what I kind of am slightly afraid that they will do, which is move archers. They don't... basically they don't do that. And then these guys are going around the long way to avoid the scout. And also I'm intentionally not killing the scout. I don't know whether that was a sensible idea. Maybe I should have just killed the scout, to be honest. But my idea was that if I kill the scout, then it would be obvious what I'm doing. So they've got their White Castle up. Classic White Castle push. But it's not aggressive enough. So two things they do wrong. If they did these things right, they probably would have won quite easily. And it's very hard to... If you've got English player that's really, really good, it is very, I admit, very hard with the Ottomans to win. But because they've created the White Tower a little bit further away than perhaps they might have done, it allows me to be like, you know what, I'm going to just use this outpost as I would normally use it and put the springboard on because it's not in range of that White Tower. Otherwise I'd have just left the outpost and it would have just got destroyed and whatever. And the other thing they do wrong, so positioning of that White Tower, and secondly, if they were already challenging this gold mine, then I would have real trouble. So 16 on gold because I'm trying to get it as much gold as possible before basically they notice. As soon as they notice, I'll need to move, but for the moment. Okay. So we're slowly building up force. I know Janissaries are not great against longbowmen, but when you get kind of enough of a kind of well-rounded army, then it doesn't necessarily matter. As long as you've got those front ranks to absorb a lot of damage, front ranks being primarily men-at-arms, and any spearmen that you might have already created from early military school production. Obviously very, very important to now be creating trebuchets. So how do you counter early white towers? As long as they're not too close and you've got time, you create trebuchets. And as I say, I now have that springboard emplacement, which is doing a very tiny bit of damage. They've now started attacking these miners. I just run, because there's no point contesting that. They do what they should have been doing basically a few minutes ago, and those few minutes have been quite important. Because I now have... this is enough of a force to start to seriously contest. Especially if I'm able to get rid of that white tower. So you just run with the villagers, there's nothing else. Just run. I decided to go Advanced Academy. I could have gone Janissary Company to increase the number of Janissaries such that I could take on this. They do start attacking from this location, and I respond by putting a few units up this way. And yeah, I mean, if they'd have done that properly, they could have created some siege equipment at Scout. I'm not ordering that, I didn't mean that to happen. But now I've got some decent trebuchet rounds on target. Ignoring this now, I know I don't have much gold, but soon I will be able to get back onto this gold mine. Very soon. And that's kind of the key, isn't it, really? Ensuring that your gold production doesn't get too delayed. And they've gone for the full push, even despite me actually having a decent force now, including a mangonel, and that mangonel is going to be very important. White tower's nearly down, but not quite. Mangonel gets taken out, Sfahi gets a good go on their mangonel. You're not being too aggressive, such that you're continuing to go back and let the outpost do a bit of work as well. But there's not that many now archers here. I think they've been switching production to focus on avoiding me getting gold from over there, which is fair enough. I don't overdo it now. I've got 4 trebuchets, so might as well just let them do the work, take out the enemy trebuchet and just take out the buildings, and be mindful that you're looking to push quite quickly as well. So this force is up here, presuming that they're going to come and flank. Priority target is now that counterweight trebuchet, and I don't want to go and attack it. I could go and attack it, to be honest. Oh yeah, I do. There we go. Take the counterweight trebuchet out, and now it's a case of I've got a decent force and they do not, so the obvious move. They're now running away to consolidate over here, and now it's essentially a race, because we're in mid-game now. 20 minutes in, Ottomans should be in a position where they can start to press the attack. But obviously not pressing in a stupid way, such that you're letting the longbows do damage, or well, do a lot of damage, and you're using the mangonels well. Not quite sure what's going on. The trebuchets just decided to take that barracks out. Oh, what are they doing now? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, they're taking the mining camp out as well for some reason. They haven't upgraded. Specialised pick. Weird when people don't do that. I don't see that, so... I don't see that, and I go a little bit too far. Important to use mangonels still, obviously. Also run away a little bit too far, so the micro is not perfect. I've seen that they're now building a keep. I'm not 100% sure how many villagers they've got on that, but I'm fairly encouraged by the fact that they're struggling to resist. So I just go and attack the villagers creating the keep. I'll slow it down because it's just about to fill in. So yeah, that was a good game. There's a bit of luck involved, I admit, but that is a decent way to play against aggressive early English.